Old man Woody likes the crooked cock.
We were
I'm
talking
very ugly. Yeah.
conversation my family had today. Can you think of any current women who aren't pretty in like actress world?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy's rough looking. So is that black lady from Saturday Night Live who was in Ghostbusters. She's hard to look at.
That's
Leslie Jones. I
yeah,
think.
she's like 6 feet, 175 pounds or something. She's a big girl, and she is hideous.
But I guess we're just kind of picking the fat women of Hollywood right now, right?
I mean, it's not the fat; it's the ugly.
Oh, I had it in my head that she was
Oh no,
pretty heavy. I don't remember though.
I mean, she's just stout. I think is the best.
She's not attractive. Yeah,
She could beat the shit out of me. I know that for damn sure.
I'd love her to.
But Melissa McCarthy is a good one, and she's current. Like a lot of the ones that I was coming up with were old. Like Penny Marshall, she played Shirley in Laverne and Shirley.
No.
She's not pretty. Some of the ones that were floated were just people who aren't pretty anymore. That's
Sarah Jessica
bullshit.
Parker is rough looking.
See, I don't think that. I'm looking for someone. I think Sarah Jessica Parker could be the prettiest girl in her IT department, right? If she exists in regular life.
I disagree with that one.
Okay.
Whoopi Goldberg.
I came up with that one too. It's just a dated one.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi, he's a man, but he's an absolute ghoul.
Right? Like one that violates the rules. I don't think Vince Vaughn looks very good. But on his way up, he did. Vince Vaughn was a handsome, thin, fit motherfucker. You know, and after he arrived, he kind of lost it.
Susan Boyle, that woman who was like famous for that one song. And that was the funniest clip when it went viral because it was before like, it was before like the big PC wave in the last like 5 years or so, where even the judges like Stephen Cowell were sitting there like, all right, sing for us, you fucking sow. And then she sings, and the response by the internet, everyone was like, wow, did you know that ugly people aren't terrible? Do you know they can do things like regular people? And like that was the wholesome message of like, look at this fat cow sing a song in a way that is great.
I expected ugly people to have no value at all. This is the general response.
Up until this point, I thought you should all be killed, but you've won me over with your song. Shut up, Mr. T-shirt. You're not even famous anymore. Or maybe he is.
That girl from The Handmaid's Tale, she's pretty rough looking. Her name's Elizabeth Moss. She was also in
Mad Men.
Mad Men.
And she was the worst, most annoying character on Mad Men. That's all I've ever seen her in, and it's left a bad taste in my mouth. She was just boring in that show.
Sandra Bernhard. Always been a real hideous ghoul of a lady.
I'm looking at the Mad Men chick right now.
Mm-hmm.
So especially some of her less flattering photos aren't that flattering. But ugly? She's Hollywood ugly at worst.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Like, but she's also being cast and compared right next to Hollywood people. Like, if you see somebody like John Hamm, a guy like John Hamm in public, he's the kind of guy you're like, well, goddamn.
You exist. You were one of the many options. Jesus.
Yeah.
I didn't know George
Clooney's a real ugly motherfucker.
Not as a kid, though.
Willem Dafoe, also hideous person.
Good example. Steve Buscemi was a good example.
Rachel Dratch.
Danny DeVito is my favorite. There was no period in Danny DeVito's life where he was good looking, right? He definitely made it.
Now take a step back.
He is a goblin.
He looked okay. And look, in the 80s. Early 80s Danny DeVito with full hair. He had his angles. And as long as you didn't see that he was 5 feet nothing. Like he was a handsome man.
How do you
there
not
was a
see
time.
that?
Early peak Danny DeVito is still not the third looking best guy in his IT department at a small company.
That's true.
But he's got charm too.
He does. Yeah. In the comedy world is where
I think he's like he still might be the best at getting ladies in his IT department because fucking Ishtar over there and is just gonna be befuddled when he sees this 5 foot tall troll of a man just pulling down the ladies because he's funny. He is Danny DeVito, so he's very rich and famous and working in IT inexplicably. And
if you're looking for ugly people in Hollywood, comedy's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a look at our podcast.
Words hurt, Taylor.
No, I'm the one weighing our average down. A short guy who I think is more to the argument Kyle was just making about DeVito would be Joe Pesci. Because Joe Pesci is very short and small, but he's not, I don't think, by any stretch an ugly man. Like, he's not that attractive, but he's
I would argue that Joe Pesci breaks the mold on some of this stuff in that, at least in my awareness, he got famous ugly, right? So even if Joe Pesci looked good in the 70s or something, I don't know, 80s, that's not when I saw him get famous. I saw him get famous in a couple mob movies, My Cousin Vinny, stuff like that. He played slumlords, or even, was he in Home Alone? Right? Yeah. That might be one of his earliest hits. He was not a good-looking Home Alone character. If he was ever good-looking, that was prior to fame.
How do we feel about Maggie Gyllenhaal, Jake Gyllenhaal's sister?
I have to see more pictures, but in this IMDb choice picture, she doesn't look bad at all. I don't think.
She's an interesting looking lady, and I like that. And if you've ever seen The Secretary, she's very sexy.
Yeah.
Actually, someone brought her up as an example of a not pretty person. And to me, like, I'll buy the argument that she's not Hollywood pretty, but no way.
I ended on that note. I love the wordplay.
That was the best shit I've ever heard.